I'm sure you all remember at the end of the orchestra trailer, we saw Xemnas telling Sora about reviving Roxas and how it involves Sora calling upon his darkness. Well, interestingly, we got another cutscene involving the revival of a character that now features young Xehanort telling Sora about the way hearts connect in Toy Story could be a clue to reclaim a lost darkness. These two cutscenes have led to the sparking up again about the discussion of Roxas being a seeker at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Roxas' revival, but I don't believe that Roxas is who we're supposed to believe Xehanort has his eyes set on. If we slow things down and break up the lines that Xehanort actually had to say, we kind of get to see who actually fits the bill of what he's saying and how close they truly are to the concept of Toy Story as a world, or Toy Story in general. You know, a world about toys coming to life. Hint, hint. So the scene opens with young Xehanort saying, "The shadow of one heart fills the emptiness of another. See how they bring him to life." So this sounds similar to the effect that nobodies have on one another. For instance, when Roxas was first brought into existence, he was like a zombie or a husk, always hanging his head and never really saying too much. But by the end of days, he had become so much of his own person, so much of his own character. He's running through Twilight Town with the biggest smile on his face, talking about going to the beach with his friends. But this isn't just true for Roxas and nobodies. Like Heartless and Nobodies, they fit together is his next line, and this I believe is him implying that the toys in Toy Story aren't wholesome beings, the same as Nobodies and Heartless. The same way, kind of like how they're not somebodies, like you know how somebodies have real bodies and real hearts and memories and stuff like that. The Heartless and Nobodies are kind of like those two things separated. So if you think about it, the toys in Toy Story are actually toys. So for them to have life, this means that they obviously have souls or hearts that actually inhibits their bodies and stuff like that, and they actually have some type of hearts. And he's mentioning hearts, so I'm guessing that as far as Kingdom Hearts is concerned, and since this is actually canon to Toy Story, then it's pretty much confirmed here that the toys in Toy Story have hearts. "There is a darkness we are missing and must reclaim," is his next line. This is a clear indication that we as players know exactly who young Xehanort is talking about because we've seen them before. Stating we must reclaim them means they're an asset that got misplaced or deviated from their original purpose. "The way hearts connect in this world may provide a clue." So that's the last line. And as in how artificial toys can have hearts that give them their own unique characterizations and allow them to diverge from their original characters, kind of like how we saw with Bugs in Toy Story 1, in which he still believed he was Bugs Lightyear, the one from the actual cartoon, and he was actually on a mission and he needed to do X, Y, and Z. And then Woody had to tell him, "Dude, you're a freaking toy. You're sitting in Andy's room, dude. There is no mission," and stuff like that. "Everything about you is plastic." The same way how that's true for them, I'm guessing that's what he means when he says the way hearts connect in this world may provide a clue. We know that toys can make other toys essentially become their own person. The way how we've seen Bugs grow to be his own person. He cares about the other toys even though he shouldn't really have any affinity or affliction towards them. Like, you know, he shouldn't have anything for them because like no kind of feelings for them because he's from a different series. He's from a different line of toys. And rather than that being true, he actually connects to the other toys no matter how much older, no matter how much difference, no matter the difference, no matter how they are. The whole concept of Toy Story is about Woody and Bugs, two very different toys, getting along and, you know, coexisting essentially. It's like toys coexisting and at the same time experiencing the much bigger world around them, and pretty much just giving us this idea of toys coming to life. You know, a concept that we as kids used to actually play around with toys and pretend like they were real and stuff like that, and how this toy could meet up with this toy and how this series could now meet up with this series because shit, it's toys, niggas. And I've always wanted to see my boy Goku and Naruto team up against Superman and Batman, and you see what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing that happens with us in real life. That's the concept of Toy Story. So if you made it through the breakdown, of course, firstly, thank you for your time, and secondly, the missing darkness is actually Xion. The first point is about how Roxas and Axel turned Xion into more than just the shell that she was. The second is meant to tell us about the person Xehanort is trying to reclaim is an empty husk, someone that is missing something. By the end of days, Xion had forfeited the memories she had stolen from Sora and returned back to nothing. This is kind of essentially saying that, of course, she had let everything go. When he says there's a darkness that we must reclaim, we know that Xemnas inside of Kingdom Hearts 305 8 Days Over 2 was feeding Xion his powers, and of course giving her his powers means that she was essentially a part of Xehanort. A part of Xehanort already. She even says that, oh, she has to make Roxas a part of her too, and how the puppet, her as a puppet, would have to play her part. So obviously she is a darkness essentially. What happened at the end of the game was that she finally got her free will back, and via having her free will back, she decided to pretty much do what she felt was best, and that was give up her body, give up her existence and everyone's memories of her, to pretty much be able to give Sora a fighting chance, so that way Xemnas' plans couldn't come to fruition. She knew about Xemnas' plans. She gave up her existence so that way they wouldn't come to fruition. The way hearts connect in this world may provide a clue. What he's talking about here is giving Xion essentially a heart, a way of existing without needing to have other characters, and that may be actually filling her empty body or her husk as a puppet with a piece of Master Xehanort. So definitely, the person he's talking about is Xion. Just think about it. Toy Story is a series in which toys come to life. This would also mean that puppets would come to life. And what is Xion? A puppet that's original to the Kingdom Hearts series. We don't know exactly how puppets work here, but we do know that puppets can steal powers. Puppets can be, brought to life in a sense that they can associate with other things and start to develop and become more and more and more human-like. And this is why he also mentions nobodies and heartless, because what he's saying is she's empty in some form, and the way she's empty is that she doesn't have a heart. She just have the memories, and she have the things that go on around her. She's kind of essentially copying that, and that's kind of what the toys in Toy Story do as well. If you watch the Toy Story movies, you see them kind of go about things in a way that humans would, even though they're nothing more than toys. Xion is who Xehanort is trying to get his hands on, guys, and it makes perfect sense. Xion is essentially a dark seeker. The reason why she's a dark seeker is because when she was brought from Castle Oblivion, what they wound up doing to her, the way how she wound up getting any powers at all, is because Xemnas was feeding her his own powers. And then by putting her close to Roxas, she was able to copy Roxas's powers that was essentially copying Sora's powers. And if you think about it, Xehanort for the past 2 to 3 games has been trying to get his hands on some form of Sora. In Dream Drop Distance, Young Xehanort even explicitly states that Roxas was a worthy candidate. However, he became too aware of himself and he became one with Sora again. If you think about the idea that Xion was erased from everyone's memory, the events still happened, meaning that Young Xehanort going through time probably does still have these memories. If he's seen these events go down, because as we saw, he went to go get Xemnas in Dream Drop Distance, meaning that he had to have at some point seen the events of days, meaning he would still have these memories. Xehanort would still have these memories. Young Xehanort would have the memories. He would know about this stuff. So obviously he would be able to do something about it. And the whole point of the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2 with the whole Axel situation all the way up until the ending is Xemnas trying to get his hands again on Roxas. In the last trailer, the orchestra trailer, we had him talking about reviving Roxas. And of course, I think last month or sometime earlier this month, if you remember when they did the little update for Days, they literally put the battle scene with Xion in there. And now we have Young Xehanort in a Toy Story world talking about how toys and the way their hearts work in Toy Story could lead to a vital clue of bringing back or reclaiming a darkness that they had lost because Xion had gained her own will and she decided to give up her existence so that way Sora could be able to come back and stop Xemnas' plans or Xehanort's plans. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Xion is the darkness that is missing? Do you think that Xion will be revived in Kingdom Hearts 3 and will become one of the 13 Seekers? I could definitely see it happening just because of what Xion actually is. And we know that Xehanort, Master Xehanort, in some way, form, or fashion, wants the power that Sora has. He wants somebody that's connected to Sora. That's why he tried so hard for Riku. He tried so hard for Roxas. And now he's trying to get his hands on Xion. But once again, let me know what you guys think. This has been your boy Amaziah. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming and everything you do. Don't forget to keep it A-class. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace the heck